Welcome to the Book Angle, where we talk about books from different angles and sometimes go in circles. I'm Anna, and this is Sabrina. And today we're wearing pink for Valentine's Day because
Have to wear
it's
pink.
February.
Because of that, we want to kick off with something very exciting. We know Valentine's Day is coming up, and we know that you might need a date, or at least a book date. So we have designed and created a blind book date experience for you. So without further ado, so we are going to pair you up and set you up with a book this Valentine's Day. So Anna, do you want to start us off? Who'd you pick for us?
Okay, so we made
Oh,
some mood boards. Oh, no, go ahead. Yeah.
okay.
We made some mood boards for the kind of like theme of these books because I didn't want to go to the trouble of wrapping it up and then showing it to you on camera because it just it doesn't translate well when you can't physically pick it up. You know how you go in a
Yeah.
bookstore and you can be like, this is a chunky, thick book. I can feel the heft of it. When they
Yeah.
do blind book dates. So I've kind of tried to copy that with the bullet points that I've given you for this first book. It is the first book in a completed trilogy, and I compared the world building in this book to Brandon Sanderson, but maybe not quite so heavy as Brandon Sanderson can be with his world building. This is a good, not quite as in depth, but very good. It has gin, political intrigue, and morally gray main characters, if that interests you.
My favorite
Um,
character is morally gray. At least that's what everyone says.
this does have multi POV. I personally don't like multi POV that much, but this one did it really, really well. And I noted it in my review of this when I did read it. I went back and like checked what I said about it. Um, that the POVs were so distinct that I never got confused about who I was getting the story from. And I felt like she did. Oh, I just gave away the author is a female. But the author did a really good job of keeping the characters unique and distinct in their POVs. Speaking of unique, the magic system was very interesting
Mhm.
and cool, and it has a slow burn romance, but that is not the main part of the plot. And if you really like romance with a lot of spice, you're not going to find it here. It is slow burn and it takes all three books to kind of come to conclusion. So that's really not the main part of the story, but it is in there if you want that.
I love all the pictures that you've chosen. It looks so, I don't know. It just looks like you dropped me into a fantasy world. Like I'm here. I am here for the moment. Okay.
Oh, we should also note that the links to the Goodreads page for all of these books will be in the description. So you can go find the title to then find the book at your library, at your bookstore, however you want to acquire it. But you'll have to go to the links to see it.
Yeah, we aren't going to tell you what it is because then it's not a blind date, but you can't tell them
You
time.
will have to discover what it is to find it, but
Yeah, you can discover it and then like walk out. Hopefully,
yeah.
you don't do that if you have dates with the person, but the option is there.
Yeah.
Okay, so contender one is done. Let's talk about contender two. So this book, I have to make sure to watch how I describe authors. You taught me a lesson. So one of the reasons why, if you're looking for your next read, that I think you would enjoy book two is if you are someone who loves found family books, where you're just happy that all the characters just come together and they just love each other and that just pulls at your heartstrings. But you really are interested in potentially having a unique addition to the family. There is a slight mystery in this book. It's not mystery where you have like a magnifying glass mystery, but it is there. And when the mystery resolves, your eyes might get a little misty, which is great. Very good emotional read. There are going to be several moments that pull at your heartstrings. It is a multiple POV. So if you're someone who likes that style of writing, this would be a good one for you too. There's a sweet little old lady. I am obsessed with old people and novels. That's not a good thing to say out loud, but I mean, it's great. And you'll go to sleep happily after reading. You're not going to finish it and be like, what the heck? Why did this happen? It feels complete. It's pleasant. You'll feel the warm and fuzzies while you read
Mhm.
it. It's a good one. You should read it.
Okay.
I picked out Anna's date. However, let's see if you change my mind. Tell me about book 3.
So book three is a rom-com meets cozy fantasy. I truly laughed out loud when I was reading this book. It's one of the funniest books I've ever read. And it's very witty, which is my kind of humor, kind of dry, sarcastic, and it has a lot of heart. It was just a very good balance of all of those things, which can be kind of hard to do without being too cheesy, and it has its moments, but it leans into it, and then it always delivered for me.
Mm,
uh Feisty heroine and small town witches. It's not set in Stars Hollow. I did use that image, but kind of evokes the vibes of Stars Hollow if
mm.
Stars Hollow had witches. So that's kind of one of the settings, but there is another setting that has drunken unicorns, bored dragons, and sorcerers in tight leather pants. I took that straight from the book description because I was like, I don't know how else to say it.
Is it like Ross and Friends leather pants? We're trying to pull it up and like,
No,
okay,
no,
okay.
it's what Ross wanted to be in leather
Oh,
pants.
okay. Got it.
This is a very long book. It's very thick. And it is delivered in two parts. So you get part one, which is written from one main character's POV, and then part two is in the other main character's POV. And you're kind of figuring out what was going on with each character
Yeah.
at the same time. So there's some overlap there in those two different parts. And I have to give a shout out. I can't tell you who the author is, but when you go and look at who this book was written by, this author has been very kind to me personally because they follow me on social media and saw me reading their book in one of my videos and was like, oh my gosh, I just screamed out loud. I was so excited to see that you were reading my book and that your dog, like, I love your dog, I love your videos, I would love to send you some stuff. So I'm looking at, she sent me some artwork, it's sitting on my wall up here, and then I have a nice little note that sits on my, is right back there, I'm pointing at it, and some other nice little goodies, just as a thank you for like enjoying her work. I did
You
it again.
did it again.
um
That's okay.
but yeah, so I loved the book before that happened, but that also just gave me a warm fuzzy feeling as well.
Yeah, I really do need to read this book. You'll have to let me borrow it maybe the next time I see you.
Yeah, there's
Um,
also now an audiobook version, so you can listen to it
oh,
as well.
so the next time I do pottery. Okay.
Yeah.
Book 3 is book 3 is doing a good job. Okay. Okay, let's see what book 4 is all about. All right. The book
Ooh,
4, look at the
I
vibes.
hadn't seen this one before. Oh, we used
Yeah.
the same image.
I did. Yeah, you chose a really great image. I was like, works. But all of the colors do really match. This
It's
is the
giving
mood.
me the ah ha 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 Twilight season. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that one, your fave. Um,
Yeah. Mm.
so this is a standalone urban fantasy. So if you aren't really interested in a duology or a series, pick up this one. It's is set in a really familiar world. It does have an enemies to lovers, and the romance is it is a pretty big part of the plot. It's not everything, but it's definitely there. It's witchy, but not spooky, despite what the images are saying. Um, so if you're, I can't say it's cozy because of some of the content, but you're not going to be scared. It's a gloomy yet beautiful setting. So a lot of the descriptions, I did feel like I was there, but it's definitely, gray clouds, vivid green. It's perfect for animal lovers. So if you enjoy animals being characters in books, this is for you. It's a good one. And it is a YA novel. It was actually one that was given to me at a conference for teaching high school English, but I think adults would also enjoy it, but just know it's an easy read. So I would consider a palate cleanser if you are just finished a series, just finished something kind of dense. I think that this would be a really good book for you to jump back into reading. Just know a little bit easier, but that doesn't mean it's bad. We love a good easy read. So,
I'm
okay.
intrigued.
Yeah, I do think you would like it. You would have to read it at the right time, but
Mm,
yeah. Okay.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
So our fifth and final book is a standalone rom-com. This one is I don't know how else to describe it except for what I said is a love letter to fans of the 1995 BBC Pride and Prejudice. So I know that's a little bit of a niche focus there, but if you are familiar, like you just need to know that this thing exists, and Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy is pretty pivotal point to this story. Like you just need to know the kind of uh chokehold that character had on romance at the
Mm.
time. So the main character really likes Mr. Darcy. I'll just say that. Okay. What if you could have a pretend Regency era romance? What would you do? Would you play it out? It's filled with
Mm.
satire and wit, which is evocative of Jane Austen, um, who is very much an inspiration for this story. And there's lots of humor, and I did laugh out loud. I've read this book a lot. It used to be one of my go-tos for when I was just feeling down and I needed something that I knew was going to make me feel like cheery and happy,
Aw,
and just like a funny good time. This was my go-to book in high school for that.
that's so cute.
um so it's still one of my favorites. It's not like I started disliking it. It's just I've moved on to different things at different times in my life. But this also has a movie adaptation. So if you really enjoyed the book, I thought that even though the movie is pretty different than the book, it's still really funny. So you could enjoy both for the different things that they bring to the table.
That's fun. So that is fun. I'm trying to figure out. I'm stuck between. I already own your book one. It's on the
Yeah.
to-do list. So I'm stuck between your book three and your book five because they both sound funny, but it is definitely different vibes.
Very different vibes. Yes.
Hmm. So people out there, what book are you gonna choose? Don't maybe don't put the name of the book in the comments, but maybe keep it with the book one, book two, book three. But which one is striking your fancy? Who are you going to take out on that big date next
Yeah.
week?
Yeah, who's
uh,
gonna be your book Valentine?
ooh, I don't know. I think it might. Gosh, I don't know which one of yours I'm going to choose. I'll have
One
to think about it.
of the ones that you don't have, book three is very long, and book five is pretty uh it's at like 200 and some pages. So I probably should have included the page count on these, but
That's okay.
you got a short one and a long one
Hmm.
to pick from.
For where I'm at right now in my reading journey, I think I'm choosing book five. However,
Yeah.
book three is still up there. But
Yeah.
I want to know about other people too. Anyway, have a great romancy season, I guess.
Yeah.
and, and we'll see you next time. And
Like and subscribe.
thanks for watching.
Bye.